I was driving this car just after leaving from purchasing cocaine. This cocaine that I purchased was for sale. It wasn't a lot of cocaine, it was 7 grams. But while driving this car that I should have never been driving, I was on the phone at the same time arguing with a guy who owed me $60. Because while driving a car that I wasn't supposed to be driving with cocaine in my pocket, a gun in my waistband, and on the phone with a guy who owed me $60, I never paid attention to the fact that I was speeding. I shot right past 3 cops sitting on the side of the road, and as I shot past them on the phone, I kind of looked and I said, there's 3 cops right there. Hey dude, let me call you back. And no sooner than I passed them, I looked in the rear view and I saw one of them immediately jump right out behind me, and he threw on the blue lights. And when he threw on the blue lights, I did what any person in my situation would do. I immediately floored him. So with this cop right behind me on the on-ramp, getting onto the interstate, blue lights flashing, all inside of the car that I'm driving, cocaine in my pocket, gun in my waistband, and no license, I didn't know what to do. I took the gun out of my waistband and I handed it to the girl who was in the car with me, my girlfriend at the time. And you're probably like, Joe, you piece of shit, why did you give her the gun? And the truth be told, because the gun was hers. It was literally registered in her name. All I needed her to do was just put that gun underneath the seat, and that way, there might be a chance that I won't get charged for this gun. Once I felt like I had done the most that I could, I then pulled the car over. And when I pulled over, I thought I had this master plan. After giving everything to the girl who was sitting right beside me, the cop came up to the car and I did the same thing again. I threw my arms out the window and I said, "Officer, I'm not supposed to be driving this car at all. But I'm telling you, this girl right here, she's having a miscarriage and I gotta get her to the hospital. Matter of fact, you need to call the ambulance right now." Thinking that this would work because it had already worked one time before for me, it did not. In fact, the officer then did something that I didn't expect him to do. He immediately pulled his gun out, he aimed it right at me, and he said, "Put your fucking hands on the steering wheel now!" He ended up calling the ambulance, he did. He called the ambulance, they took her out of the car, they put her on the stretcher, they loaded her up in the ambulance, and they took her to the hospital. The canine officer pulls up, and he immediately gets out with the dog. So the cop with the dog starts walking around the outside of the car. The cop then came back to the car, took me out of the car, and began to search me. He had me place my hands on the trunk of the car, spread my feet, and he began to search me. So I'm looking down, watching his hands, patting me down, grabbing my balls, and then he grabbed my pocket and he put his hand inside of my pocket. He said, "You don't have anything in here that's gonna poke me, do you?" I told him I didn't. He went inside of my front pocket and I literally watched as he pulled out of my front pocket that bag of cocaine.